Hi, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Ask a Professional. My name is Ryan Abramsky, and I'm the Business Development Director for EasyLiving. We're a home care and care management agency serving the Tampa Bay area for over 20 years. I'm joined today by a very special guest, Dr. Cate McCarty. She is the Dementia Coach. Dr. Cate, thank you so much for joining us today. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. It's a great opportunity.
Thank you. Thank you. So to get started, how about you tell us a little about you and, what you do as a dementia coach?
I am basically the coach, like a football coach, which it's going to be a hard analogy because I don't really follow football.
I'll help you through. I'll coach you through the coaching.
Oh, good. I'm all about training families, developing the team. We have draft picks. Sometimes they get axed. And that's how I work very well with folks like EasyLiving and Aging Wisely, is that I put they're part of the team. So I just got off a coaching call and we're doing replays on, it was hospital psychosis that the person was experiencing, but that didn't come from their guardian and it didn't come from their doctor, but it's what I add to it. So non-clinical, very much the psychosocial piece, but research. I did the PhD from University of South Florida. It gave me a lot of good opportunity to research dementia care and of course, lots of years, longer than you've been around, of working in long-term care and in homes with care partners.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, it's a great gig.
So, tell us about exactly, what you do with either families, or I know sometimes you help out with geriatric care managers, like some of our care managers that work for EasyLiving.
I do that little bit of an extra piece. So often a care manager will refer to me, and it's a family that, when you look at dementia, it's just the latest thing that's come to an entire family system. So I feel a lot like I'm the exterior social worker. So when it's more than the care manager, when it's more than the clinical, and of course, care managers know lots of stuff. I'm not saying that, but just that little extra hand-holding, consultation, coaching. Sometimes it's one-off and sometimes it's a package. It's 3 months of intensive, but we're working on developing that team, training the team, and also working with the family system, because if you've always been the youngest, you don't necessarily count your voice. Right? And it doesn't change just because mom has dementia.
Yeah.
Right? So kind of mitigating those struggles that have been there all along.
Absolutely. So what are some of the things that, specifically that you've done before in the past with either families or these care managers before to help them with their situation?
Well, let's see. The most recent time that I pulled in a care manager was I had gone out to the house, done a consult like last October, did the dementia screening, the long recounting of what needed to be done, and then it was completely shelved. So now we've got, 8 months later, we're like, hey, uncle, can't do this. And now's the time to call in the big team dogs. Yeah, the geriatric care manager. This is big. I'm working with this, and I'm working with a whole lot on the family member and much more like a counselor. But I need you to go in and get that medication delivered, the reality of driving. Those are the things that we can kind of partner together on. So I do also do support groups and memory cafes, but the bulk of what Dr. Cate Dementia Coach does is this very intensive kind of counseling, coordinating the team, pulling in the outside resources.
Absolutely. So speaking of like those support groups and those cafes and stuff like that, I'm sure prior to COVID, it was probably, I'm going to guess most of them were probably a face-to-face situation. So how is that, how has that changed with the new COVID, pandemic going on and the social distancing? Are you seeing just as much participation online as you did maybe face-to-face prior to it?
Yeah, it's very interesting. Much more participation on the support group than ever before.
Really?
Which makes sense, right? I get an 8 to 10 every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, at least 8 to 10 people, which is really pretty healthy for a support group. I do a very targeted, like today was adapting to change, and we talk about changes and denial and the things that our agencies all work with. But then the Memory Cafe has been a little harder because you have a person with dementia who's not necessarily having the eyesight, the hearing, and the focus. So that's been more of a challenge, much more. I have to have several themes and work with what stage I'm looking at. So, and in some areas, like we do one in San Antonio, Texas, we don't do it there, but there'll be 25 people tomorrow joining me for bingo. So it's a wild, a wild ride. Much like the good news is I'm not the Ravens coach who has to decide whether it's healthy, and I'm not losing gobs of money. Right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So we kind of transferred it to a platform. And I have to stay focused because I keep wondering, would go-to meetings be better? Or maybe WebEx would, like, don't do that to your people. Right?
Yeah.
You finally got them into Zoom. Let's keep them here. Yeah.
Keep them in one spot, right?
All the work with family is this way as well.
Yeah. Well, that's really, that's great to hear that the participation is higher with that. And I guess, there's no excuse now because now you can do it right from your living room or from your house, so.
Yes. Yeah. I have one couple that they don't want to do both because they can't sit for 2 hours. So that's the long, because they're back to back. We try to get Memory Cafe in the morning because people are more alert brain wise, but it's great because you get to refer to folks like EasyLiving, that these are folks that can help you. And on so many of the really basic levels, because you are going in and, I'm not going in.
Absolutely.
It's a nice, this is wonderful. Cause I don't know that you and I would know each other other than Facebook.
Exactly. Yeah. It's the world has changed, and, the connections there are so different now, but it's really, I think it really has opened up, so many different opportunities for different people to come in contact with each other. So I think, as bad as a pandemic is, I think there's been a lot of good things that have come out of it, and our world has changed since then because of that. So.
Oh yeah. I mean, I know that these are probably your children behind your head.
Absolutely. Yeah. They're younger.
Right? And I've been to Ponce, Puerto Rico, because that's Ponce behind me. But, when I go into their homes at support group, like one day I was able to say to a guy, "Are you okay? Because your slippers are in the wrong spot."
Yeah, you start noticing things. Yeah.
It's much more, in a way, it's more intimate. It's very strange that way.
Yeah.
But it's been a challenge, but I think a good one. We have more time. Yeah.
For sure. So I noticed you said San Antonio. So where all do you? I'm guessing it sounds like you can service pretty much anywhere. So is that true or?
Yes.
Okay.
I've coached people in the just today was Atlanta, but the mom lives in West Palm.
Okay.
And New Hampshire people have joined us on Memory Cafe to see how it's done. North Carolina, Texas. My primary sponsor is Art in Courts, and so we have one in Texas that's supporting and having its own Memory Cafe. Tampa Bay, Winter Springs, and West Palm right now are doing Memory Cafes. But the sky's the limit because we have this. Oh, I know. The best part is I have a fella that joined us at Live Memory Cafe in Tarpon. I think we saw them in February. Then he started joining us in virtual world. Then they were in New York. There was always a rooster in the background. And now they join us right after his evening nap. He joins us from Palme, which is off the coast of Italy. It's a little island.
Oh, wow.
So it's just great.
All over the place.
Same people. And we know them like the back of our hand, and we followed them each step of the way. So a lot of vicarious travel is happening.
That's very cool. Yeah. And like you said, like we mentioned earlier too, it's like, this is, this ability with technology that we're finally it's been there. We just all haven't probably utilized it as much as we are forced to now, but it's been great because, now we can offer, the services on a far reaching level. So.
Yes. Yeah. Family in Indiana. I have to say, so what are they doing in Indiana with COVID? Tell me again, are you allowed to visit? I have to check in with the state. And so this morning we had a Marylander on, and she's telling us how great the numbers are, and the rest of them are Floridian. And I'm like, Not so much,
Yeah,
right? But,
absolutely.
but it's all relative, right?
Exactly, exactly. Well, Dr.
So,
Kate, I really appreciate you joining me today and kind of giving an insight on exactly what a dementia coach does and the services that you provide. And we'll, of course, post your information here in the video. If anyone else needs to get a hold of Dr. Kate, we'll be sure to reach out to us at Easy Living. Send us a message here on Facebook or comment below. We'll make sure you get in touch with Dr. Kate. Or if you have any questions or comment you'd like to pass along, she will definitely make sure she gets that question for you and reaches that back out to you. So again, Dr. Kate, thank you so much for joining us today. Really appreciate your insight and your time. And
thank
I
you,
thank
Ryan.
everyone else for joining today. Thank you so much.
Say hi to all my Easy Living friends for me.
Will do. Thank you, Dr. Kate.
Thank